So coming up on today's episode of Technoid, the Samsung Galaxy Mini's release date has finally been revealed by accident, although we all know those aren't accidents. The Samsung Galaxy Flip, by now you have all seen the controversial video that has been leaked on the internet. I'm going to break down my thoughts and info on that. Also, we are going to discuss the pricing for the S20, and we're going to talk about some weird smartwatch. Yeah, we'll get into that later. All that, and on today's episode, we may also discuss some other things, but enough talking, cue that intro. YouTube, what's poppin'? Michael here, welcome back to Technoid. I hope you guys are having an excellent day. But before we start the video, guys, I just want to address a lot of people have been messaging me about the coronavirus. A lot of people have been talking about the possibilities of being sick now that there are 11 cases in the United States. Listen, guys, I normally don't like to talk about things that are very serious because I know it's been a rough month and a lot of people are trying to get over a lot of things. A lot of things have happened, personal and also outside. But guys, the coronavirus, I personally will say it's not a big threat right now. It is something to be very cautious about, but I don't think we'll ever get to that point where it's going to really be something like The Walking Dead. But with that said though, I do advise everybody, please do take your precautions to keep yourself safe. Make sure you wash your hands. Make sure you do regular things that you would normally do if you are afraid of somebody having the virus. Because we all know the story about it. It's coming from China, from the illegal animal sales and stuff that they do, so allegedly. So point from this video, guys, please take care of yourselves. Please take precaution. And with that said, let's get this video started. So story number one, story first up of the day, let's talk Samsung. Now, before we talk about the Samsung Flip, let's take a look at the Home Mini. Now, as you know, Samsung for 2 years has not released this thing. It has been released back at their Unpacked event in Brooklyn where they unveiled the Note 9. It had a lot of promise, but it never really saw the light of day. Well, it looks like they are one step further to finally releasing this thing because they accidentally leaked the online number for some reason. Somebody got a hold of it. I don't know how Samsung messed it up. This is literally Samsung, not nobody. And the release date is February 12th. Now, this makes a little bit of sense, but I don't know, because on the one hand, it lines up with Unpacked, so you can say Samsung showed it off at Unpacked, so it makes a little more sense why they would say that, but at the same time, it just sounds a little too close, especially with February 3rd. I don't know exactly how close Samsung's gonna cut it for the event, but if they unveil it at the event and then release it February 12th, it makes all the sense. But if you are interested in getting a Bixby powered speaker, now you can finally get it. Now, to be very clear, this is not the full size model we're talking about. We're talking about the Mini, the one that they have shown off a little more and are hoping to bang off of with this product. Because I feel like they've seen the market. They know people don't need a big speaker to be spending hundreds of dollars, and they want to grab market share. So by releasing a Mini at a right price point, they're going to grab as much market share as I have chances of grabbing as much subscribers on YouTube. But the point is, the Home Mini is finally going to make its way into the American market, and let's only hope that it does well. So let's keep it going. Now let's talk about the Flip. So if you guys have not seen yesterday, the Flip has gone viral. Somebody leaked it, somebody got their hands on it, and it was shared on Twitter. And no, do not tell me Ben Geskin did it, and thank you FrontPage Tech for clearing this up. I appreciate him as always. It was actually a different user that started this, but then Ben obviously shared it, and he didn't say he did it, but that was where most of the steam was coming from. But regardless of that, this is the Galaxy Flip Z. Now, at first glance, you're thinking, okay, it looks similar to the Motorola Razr. It's got a nice display when you open it. It looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Well, I have a problem with the design of the phone, and my whole issue is the approach to this product. The same thing that I have with the Motorola Razr. Both of them just don't offer much. Yeah, it's cool, but what are you getting when you open the thing? You're just getting a normal smartphone. At least with the Galaxy Fold, you could argue, even though that thing is fragile, just like this thing will be, at least when you open that fold. When you take the fold and you open it up, when you're taking that extra step to take this thing and turn it from a phone, you get a tablet. So it makes that opening piece a lot more worth it. But when you open this phone, you're just getting a normal sized smartphone. And if I was gonna get a normal sized smartphone, I'd just get what I have now, the Note 10 Plus. Why would I need to go spend maybe $1,000 more for the same smartphone? The only difference is, oh, it folds. Why would I give that up? It doesn't make sense to me, just like the Motorola Razr doesn't make sense to me. If I'm paying a lot of money for a foldable, I'd rather want it to turn into a tablet than a phone, in my opinion. I'd rather it open into a tablet. Because the whole idea of the Fold is to make something portable, even portable, or whatever they were going. Now, I don't know what they're doing with this Flip. But look, the truth is with me, I feel like we just made this thing because people are just tired of seeing the same designs we see every day. So, I mean, yeah, but, okay, you know what? Comment your thoughts down below. Let me know what do you think of the Galaxy Fold, whatever 2, what you want to call it. And now let's keep moving. So now, facing away from Samsung, let's talk T-Mobile. So again, reporting on John Prosner, he released on Twitter saying, according to his sources, that the rumored price point that you are seeing, now I will leave links in the description, he has followed up on Twitter talking about the phones, and he followed it up on his segment today, and I want to address it because I actually 100% agree with what he's saying. The price point for each phone from the S20, S20 Plus, and S20 Ultra are $999, $1,099, and $1,399, somewhere in that between, and to make it seem a little bit better, he followed it up by saying each phone will have 600 megahertz 5G. It will ship standard, including the S20. Now, when you look at the reaction from everybody on the Twitter and also from the tech world itself, everybody's really mad and they're like, oh, it's too expensive, this and that. Listen, John, you hit it on the nail. You can never satisfy anybody. And I 100% agree. I normally know about techs, but I'm not going to talk about the tech spec of this phone or anything. I'm just going to talk face value. Like, Samsung literally is listening to people. This is one of the few companies that actually listens to people. Just like how Apple listens with iOS, Samsung listens with the hardware-wise. They're giving you what you want. You want better cameras, you want better screen, you want better God knows what speakers, I don't know. You want better things, Samsung is delivering. But were you expecting to get these things for free? No, you weren't expecting them for free. You're supposed to pay. That is the whole idea. And if you're not satisfied with that price point, you could always go for the A series. There's always a fallback. There's always something as a backup if you're not satisfied with the price point. I don't understand why everybody complains. At first, I was mad. At first, I'll admit, I was one of those people that said I didn't like it. But the more I looked at what you're getting and how much they're putting in this, I'm like, you know what? I changed my mind. This is working. This is exactly what we want. A good, powerful smartphone. And I don't understand how people can complain and argue. I get it. Look, the $1,000 price tag for a smartphone is expensive. But if you take into consideration everything that they're giving you in this phone, and you don't have to look at Samsung, you can look at OnePlus and other vendors that are doing the same, but a little bit better if you still feel so. Like OnePlus is offering the 7T Pro at 90 Hertz. And it doesn't matter about specs or not. What matters is just they're giving you what you want, and you're still finding ways to complain. And look, John is right. You can never make anybody happy. He goes by his saying that compromise is really what the market needs. No, you know what it really needs, John? Even though you're 100% right, this is my personal opinion, the market just needs to just stop. The market people, average people, just need to stop and look at the bigger picture. But it'll never get to that point. People always will find things to complain about. And this phone is literally giving you, in my opinion, the best, no compromise smartphone that Samsung has ever made. They're giving you a 120 hertz display. They're giving you literally things you could have dreamed of. A better camera that we see in phones like Huawei, everything. And you still are going to argue about the price and this and that. So the takeaway from this, if these prices are true, which I have a feeling it is, because John has been reliable at times too. Even though he reports news, his reliable sources have been right in the past. So I'm going to go off of that and agree, because look, if these are the price points, I think people need to stop arguing it and just look at what they're giving you. And if you're not a tech enthusiast, then you don't have to get the phone. You don't have to spend $1,000. If you're not satisfied with $1,000, you could go to OnePlus. That's just my takeaway from this, and I feel like it's just annoying that literally companies are listening and giving you what you want, and then you in return are gonna say, oh, they're upcharging. Like, I don't agree with that. For the first time, I don't agree with that. Even though I don't like the $1,000 price range, I see that they're giving you more value for that money. That is it. That's all I gotta say on that. Let's move on. Now let's talk, let's talk that weird smartwatch. So, if, as you know, Oppo is one of those Chinese brands out there like Huawei and Vivo that are doing their own thing in the third world market besides the coronavirus. But then they released an image of a smartwatch that they are releasing that literally looks like the love child of a Samsung Galaxy Watch and an Apple Watch. The face design looks like the Apple Watch, and the side buttons are very reminiscent to the Galaxy Watch. Now, there is not much specs about this watch, but let me just say this, guys. If you're wondering why we will never see these companies come to America, this is why. None of that espionage bullshit, none of that whole, oh, well, the government's watching this and that, nah. It's because they're not creative. That's it. That's it. And last story, last one up of the day, let's take a look at Apple. Now, Apple TV Plus is really not the home run that Apple was hoping for, but they are trying to improve on that because now they are working on more shows which are scheduled for a February release date, some comedic shows and everything. And on top of that, they're slated to review some more shows, and they're slated to also talk more about bundle services in the near future. Now, this part of the rumor is an actual rumor. Everything else I said is pretty much happening. They're releasing new shows, they're working to improve the content as always. But the bundling thing is what we're gonna discuss. Now, as you know, Apple doesn't necessarily bundle a lot, but in this case, there was a report last year when Apple TV Plus came out. They were saying that Apple is working on making a bundle for Apple Arcade, Apple News, Apple TV Plus, Apple Music, and things like that. While we never heard anything about it, it would be very smart for Apple to do that because not only do you get more users, you give more value. You get 3 things for the one price. You get Apple Music, Apple TV. Like, buying an iPhone is basically your gateway into this. And if Apple can get you with a bundle, you're locked in. The iPhone is just the platform. It's what you do after that to make yourself locked into the ecosystem. And I really hope Apple TV Plus works out, and I hope they do the bundle. And that is it for today's episode of Technoid. So guys, that is it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it today. If you did, hit that like button. If you disliked the video, hit that dislike button. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. We are so close to 1,000 subs. I cannot wait till we hit there. That's it for today, and peace.